introduce our speaker for tonight.
Thank you, Richard.
My name is Bill and I am an alcoholic. It is a great day to be alive and sober, and I am alive because I'm sober. To drink is to die. If I make it to August the 6th of this year, I'll have 17 years sober, and for that I'm profoundly grateful. Welcome everybody. Thanks for showing up to listen to Say So's story this afternoon. I've been Say So's sponsor for a little over 10 years, pretty much most of his sobriety, and it's been a privilege, Say So, to work with you and for you. In addition to being your sponsor, I have watched you grow in this program over the years tremendously. But more importantly to me, being your sponsor has given me an opportunity to grow with you. And I really value your friendship. We've turned into close friends. We just spent 3 hours on the road today for no good reason, but it was fun. So welcome everybody. We're glad you're here. Would you please join me and welcome Cesar L.
Hello. Hello. I'm Cesar L.
Hi, Cesar.
I'm an alcoholic. I'm here today because, thanks to Richard, he allowed me to tell my story today. The speaker night to me has always been an awesome night here. I learned a lot from everyone that has been here. But first, I do want to thank the AA program. I want to thank everyone that has been involved, which is every member of AA that has been here, and their families too, because I met a lot of them and I can see that how they feel about their relatives. That includes husbands, wives, sons, daughters, in-laws, everyone that is family, besides the family that we are all here together. Thank you, Richard. Richard has been the person in charge. That's what it sounds? Speaker's night. So, with that, I also like to especially thank my wife for being here tonight. And Bill means that representation of AA so many times in moments of need and confusion from the beginning. And also orientation and also friendship. There is something that we can avoid, that we both like to eat, so we made a lot of times in that direction. But I like to say something special before I start or continue, is that I take AA very serious. This is not a game for me. It never has. So if something sounds a little comic, it's not because it's meant to be that way, because I have a lot of respect for many here in this room that has started this program. Who knows? Could have been yesterday, but I don't know. Or many years, and they can probably feel different. So if anything sounds that way, I don't mean disrespect in any way or form. We also know how to laugh here. But today, I'm supposed to say some things that are not exactly laughing stories, until maybe tonight when I laugh about everything I said, but not exactly. It's serious to me. Okay. My story really starts the day that I was born. The day that I was born, I understood by my family that it was a happy day for my mother and my dad, because they really said that they wanted me from the beginning. I was a wish child, not an accident. And that meant a lot to me forever. Now, either way, I also learned through the years that God has plans and it doesn't matter, but I was joyful and happy when I find out years later about all of them. I was loved, and my childhood was good. Good in the sense that I thought it was excellent. My parents were good to me. My dad was really raised in the military world for a long time, so he was extremely rigid, which I learned later that kind of turned a little bit intimidating. And not only that, but the way this happened is that back in those days when I was growing up, some very political, strong reasons to be more careful that were happening. I was born in Guatemala, Central America, and the CIA kind of removed a communist government, so it was not joking about anything. My mother believed in education. My mother said that my dad said, if they are healthy, that's good with me. So, but he didn't want to have any mistakes. We made a mistake at home, and my mother said to my dad, and we all were out of bed at whatever time that he showed up, and we all get the belt with my other three brothers. So I grew up a little bit intimidated, even when I was probably under a lot of love. What that means is this. You get this here, but you get this here. And then as you keep growing up, that little thing here and that little thing here turns to be pretty big. Then I grew up a little bit intimidated to face the world. Yes, a lot. So by a pure accident, like all things happen in life, one day I had the opportunity to have a very nice rum and coke. I think that was the best thing I ever had. Even it was a wedding, and the Latin American celebrations are for everybody. The kids, all ages, they even give to try the little babies a little bit. I guess just you don't bother anybody, just give them a couple of drops. And for everybody else, the bartenders just fix all of this lineup of rum and cokes, or they call the Scotch whiskey, and whiskey with soda, whiskey with water, whiskey with coke. That was perfect at the time. That tastes a little sweet. And of course the champagne, it was like, I don't know what champagne was good or bad, they just tasted good. So we have all of the champagne we wanted. And this happened the first time when I was probably 5 or 6 years old. And we all kids running around these weddings. The only thing we wanted is, when is the next wedding? Yeah. And it's the truth. So, okay, next wedding, it was really frequently. And we almost, I ended even dancing, which nobody can move my feet because they just don't move. But with that, I feel like I was enjoying everything. Then it was a season when everything seems to disappear, and I keep waiting for more weddings. And of course, then we start looking for other type of things as we turn 14, because you can get into a bar if you're 12. But I didn't ever like bars. For some reason, never enjoy a bar. But then these friends was stealing bottles from their fathers. I was not going to steal a bottle from my father because my dad only had one bottle of scotch that my mother and him just enjoyed one shot maybe every 6 months. That was no fun. But this guy that we knew, he was a military, and he ordered the scotch by the case. And he got it all locked, and we played him every weekend that he was having fun with his friends until we knew when he was going to leave the key, and he'd run and get that bottle. And of course, at this point, it was with Coke, without Coke, it doesn't matter. From choking to not choking, it got to a point that it just tastes great. But it don't taste great. It feels good. And it feels better. So this alcoholic career, it started very innocently. People that's getting married, what kind of not innocence is there? It's completely awesome. Well, of course, it was not happening every day, but we look for it at least once a month. Then we ended up going to weddings that we were not even invited. Yeah, that was a funny thing. And who cares about all these guys that are 14, 15 years old? They believe that they are related to somebody. Yeah, so, well, at some point life gets a little serious, and probably we wanted to have girlfriends. And that was difficult. Because women, they learn to say no. Why they teach them to say no, I have no idea. So it don't matter what we said. We wanted for them to be our girlfriends, and they said no. So I was no way to say, ask again. So it turned to be at a party once we were probably 16 years old. After so many of these Cuba Libres that it felt easy, but it seemed like they just put a little bit of rum, so we drink plenty of them, and it was easy to ask, "Do you want to dance?" And they said no. But then it gets better. No, let's just dance. Or they said, "Yeah, let's dance," because they were drinking the same thing. So we're all having fun, and it was all this group of young guys. Of course, the parents are having fun. They have no idea who's invited and who's not. Because we went to many parties where we were not invited. So, at the same time, my life at home was a perfect life. My mother teach. My dad had an awesome job. And I grew up believing that life is awesome. My dad was an optimist, a very optimistic person. He had an awesome job. He was organizing businesses, and they sell him after that. My mother was teaching only women after mid school to executive secretaries and and everything was such a straight life. But we were looking for the non-straight life. And nobody knew anything. So it got to be the Friday night and Saturday night. But my brother always wanted to stay longer, and we always got in trouble because then we can get it back in the house. And he didn't care, but I did care. I wanted to be back in the house in my bed, but he didn't care. No, let's take longer. Well, whatever it is, this turned to be from Saturday afternoon, we're going to go with friends. And that was my taste of alcohol, that it turned to switch into real life when I turned 17, 18, that I really started making a lot of mistakes. I call it mistakes because they really were mistakes. No responsibility in my act. The other things were little games. This turned to be getting my girlfriend pregnant. That was no fun. That was no fun for any of us. My dad found out. I got to tell him. He was very upset because what I done to her. I wanted to respond properly, so my whole dream forever was to go to the United States. I wanted to do that when I was 5 years old. Everything was coming from the United States to our country. Anything that we believed that it counted. So I always thought, if I go there, it's way more than that. So to me, I wanted to go, and I found a way to go. And I decided that I was going to take my girlfriend with me to New York City without telling my dad. So we escaped Guatemala, and nobody knew anything. He knew I was leaving. I said bye like nothing happened. And 2 weeks later, she was escaping to meet me over there. And I was not going to tell anybody. When he found out, he was furious. But that was because, again, alcohol had a lot to do with that. I know my wife doesn't know a lot of things that I'm telling you, but hope I'm not in trouble later. But so life always has consequences about everything. You pay the price for everything. So I started working 16 hours a day to have that baby and that lady taken care. And I did that for a year, another year, another year. I wanted to go to school. They told me my documents and papers that I had don't work the way that I had them on my school, even when I was going to an American school, that I had to go and get my GED instead of et cetera, et cetera. I need to learn college English and go back to my electrical school when I spent 4 years in electrical school in my country and an American school in Dade County here. Now, if I'm working 16 hours a day and I am doing this and that, and I, on top of that, needed to go and learn and go to college, that's a little hard. All for what? One moment of irresponsible drinking, because I could have done that if that was the case, but not with that responsibility of 3 people. So I did my GED. On top of the 16 hours, I went a little bit to the English class. My English is still not the one that can be fluent yet. But that's a long story. So what happened? I didn't have time. Because on top of that, I was working on my legal documentation. And when I was actually ready for more, they told me I needed to go back to my last interview, my country of origin. At the time, we never married, of course, and what happened is that what my dad said was right. The only thing you're going to do is have more children, and this is not going to be good for you. Because this is going to create a lot of the responsibilities of yours, for the 2 of you. But guess what? He was right. And of course, it was even harder. She was 6 years older than I was, probably with different ideas and different dreams. And all because of alcohol. And the funny thing is that while I was working 16 hours, I don't even get a taste of alcohol in 3 years. Because I can't even taste it. I don't have time for that. So what happened, we went back, I got my documents, and I really supposed to fly right back. She insisted on staying, obviously, in Guatemala. But what happened is that, what? I met someone, and again, alcohol ruined things for me. And this time I decided to marry by all the laws. 3 years, 3 kids later, before that, but 3 kids later, she really was affected by a tumor and she died. I swear up and down many times, this is it for me. I had nothing to do with any women because I had no idea how to take care of myself with any of them. Canceled. And I was literally, basically, 30 years old. 32. When I said that, they used to laugh in my face. You're dreaming. You're not going to have to run from them. Oh, no, you don't have to run from them. They're going to go after you. No. I'm serious. No. I started a business before that. And if it was not for the business, I can't even probably take care of anything. But this is what happened then. Scotch was awesome. It kept me calm. 2 drinks a day, and I was in heaven. Because the pressure of knowing that their mother was dying, the pressure of knowing a lot of things that were going on, her mother come and take care of the children, everything. I come back from work, and it's 2 scotches turned into 3. But then, of course, the business asked me to take care of more responsibilities of meetings at night, but not exactly at 2 in the morning. They were over at 8, at 7, but I make it really long, and we well, other people and me, this drinking turned into a little extra. I'm just going to say it very well, extra. So my life was coming back at 3 in the morning, taking a shower, go back to work. I'm 30-some years old. Have no idea, but I was working in plumbing. I was the owner of the plumbing company with a partner that we worked together for 4 or 5 years. We became very strong. Strong physically and strong emotionally. I was told since I was a kid about all the positiveness in life, about all the optimism in life. That I carry that with me. I got it with me today. And physically speaking, I was eating like a horse, and my weight was my waist was 32 inches, perfect. I have enough strength just to take a shower and keep going and go to work. And at this point, I was working half in the trucks and half here and half there, going to the meetings, meeting the people, meeting this, meeting that. The business kept growing, and drinking became part of these meetings. To the point that anywhere that I was going, a drink was involved. I bought a set of clubs to play golf because it was good for business. And guess what? That was perfect. The set of clubs was in the back, and if we played golf, the very first thing was a nice Bloody Mary in the mornings, and if it was at noon, 2 or 3 scotches, and then maybe whatever was available. And we tipped that lady to come back, not once around the whole thing. No, you come back with us with all this tip every 15 minutes. And she was there for that tip every 15 minutes. And we got what we wanted. And this created fishing trips, and the very first thing was the whole gallon of what? Bloody Marys, screwdrivers. I knew every single drink at the time that was available. And the ones that were good and the ones that were not good. The way they were made, and people wanted, they liked my drinks. I was a pro. And we were making money because people keep calling. And nobody in this town has nothing but plumbing problems daily, and they have no clue until they fail and they cost them more money. So we were in the perfect business. And we were repeated business. And all of our customers were women. All the managers, assistant managers, all the apartment properties in Houston. So what's the problem? None. My partner was exactly the same age as me. We participated in all kinds of charities. We dressed once as a pirate. It's complete success. They asked us later to dress pirates again. We won first place. Yeah. We were going to all the shows. We were the number one of the shows. I always wanted to be number one. And we were number one. How did that happen? I have no idea how it was going to happen. But my dad was an optimist. And my mother was really a perfectionist in her school. It took all the school kids to all the competitions. She created the competitions. She was walking them in all of these institutions. I grew up watching that. So to me, number one, it was my next to me. And that's what was happening. And in the back of my head, when I visit my relatives, they said, "You remember your whatever great uncle, whatever it was, and da 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 da. He was da 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 da." Well, I don't want to say what he was here because it doesn't matter. The thing is that he was a very important person in our family, in government. So the point is, what happened? Simple. I become, in combination with my great feelings of intimidation, I don't want this anymore. I met this lady, and it was the worst thing that could happen to me. Best thing that happened is that she had a baby, and it turned to be one of my girls because I embraced her whole life, and today too. She's actually one of my partners in the business today. But we ended up getting a divorce with her mother. Because it was not good. It was not good. But I was feeling too good, and alcohol was awesome. Okay. That didn't last, and I said, this time, never again. Never. And I was my late 40s, whatever, 50, something like that, or 50, early 50s. And one day, my eyes and my brain totally cloud when I met my wife, I gotta say it. And we ended up getting married again. Which, we're getting close to a few shaky things. So, at some point, I realized alcohol is no good for me. It was sad to say it, that I never thought I was going to say that. I cannot live without drinking alcohol. Even if I don't drink every day, I needed it. And I never wanted to be anybody's slave or any slave of anything. But that was very serious to me. My mother always said respectfully, I don't like for my kids to drink, but if you drink, drink the best. So I got the best scotch. My favorite drink was scotch. My dad drinks scotch. We did scotch. Fine. Then I tried to, I'm not going to get to AA yet. But you try everything. What can beat a martini? Nothing. No one. Few. I don't really ever been or was a beer drinker because I can't believe people can drink that much water. It's wasting your time. So, life was good, but at some point, I turned into not the guy that enjoyed that, but the drink enjoyed me. I spent a lot of money. I promised things to people without remembering what I promised. I spent fortunes of money following the truth because I didn't want it for people to know that I lied to them, including trips, positions, all kinds of things. Gifts. I feel embarrassed. Sometimes I needed to find out what did I offer here. And of course I was not just me. It's like this guy said, why do you let me give this guy $100 for a tip? I said, wait a minute. This is not the first 100 you gave him. Really? Well, I guess we never count the money we got in our pockets. So the thing is, you lose control of everything. I'm sorry. Not you. Me. I lost control of everything. Okay, good things happen in life. I married my wife. And one day she told me that if I don't quit drinking, she leaves me. And she did. And that was not good. Remember, I like to be number one. And stop drinking don't make me feel number two. On top of that, it made me feel double one. Even if I see double, right? No, but it's the truth. But it's the truth. And I was like, this cannot possibly happen. I'm going to have to quit drinking. And that is really sad. Two things. I wanted to quit, but I can't. It's really, really a bad feeling. I went to Mexico to find out about a program because I was willing to do anything. This program was about, I have no idea yet what it was. But I went over there for 5 days, and that was a treatment for a beast. They injected on me a lot of things. They made me listen to all kinds of tapes. And I don't know what happened. I come back. She don't know this, but I got to share with all of you without her listening to. I went to her therapist to tell him that I was quitting drinking. So he may tell her. He didn't know that about me. I'm supposed to tell the truth here. That's one of the bad things. So I said, this is what I've been doing. And he said, I'm going to send you to a treatment to a place that I never had anybody that come back here. Because I mentioned to him a place that it was awesome in, it was in California. I forgot the name of it. It was Passages in Malibu. Well, I said, this is perfect. They had a boat to go fishing. They had a golf to go play golf. They had the treatment going. When I told her that I was going to do that, she looked at me like, oh. I said, this don't work. So I went to the park. And you know, the park, amazing. That place, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. They even offer that I can go back every Saturday to learn more if I wanted to for a year. No, I wanted to go again all of those days if they had a different hour. I learned how the chemistry of my body works with anything. Food, alcohol, drugs, and everything. When I told my wife that I was doing this and I was really into it. And she can't believe that I want to go back. But I really, really wanted to. It was impressive what I learned about how the chemicals of my body work with any other thing that I put in there. At this point, I was interested. I was kind of motivated that I didn't want to ruin myself. And then is when this life started. The guy said, I want for you to go Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to an AA meeting. And I thought, God, that sounds bad. The only time that I went to an AA meeting before is that one of the kids, the oldest one, accidentally had 2 cases of beer in the back of his car. Can you believe an accident? And the judge, they caught him for some reason, gave him 10 days to go to AA. And of course he was a minor, so I got to be there. So what happened, they sent him to a place that was in 1960. I went over there because I felt guilty the first day that he got to go. And I got to tell you, the cloud of smoke that was there, I was sitting down and I can barely see. And I thought, if I have to go to this AA, I'm going to die not from drinking, from this smoke. I'm serious. And I actually went to the therapist again. I said, they want for me to go to this thing, and this is really serious. At this point, he knew my wife. I guess by then she already knew that I was going seriously somewhere. which was a good for me. I was making points. So what happened, he said, I know where you're going to go. I'm going to send you to this group. This place is a non-smoking group. It's perfect for you. The people is good, and you live nearby. Because we live right here off of Cypresswood. And I come here one day, and I sat over there in that corner. See, good chair. Yeah. What is your name? Billy. Nice to meet you. You're on my chair. So, what happened, I come to the first meeting, and this guy said, this meeting is dedicated to you. And I thought, what had I done? And they asked me, do you think you're an alcoholic? And inside of me I was saying, no. I don't tell you exactly what I thought, but I said no. But I said, yeah. Do you have a problem with alcohol? I want to say no, but I said yes. Okay, so you belong here. This meeting will be for you. I don't remember everything they said, but at the end of the meeting they asked me to say something. I stood up, I stand up, and I was going to say something. He said, no, sit down. Well, I keep going to the park, and I keep coming here. And I went back to my therapist, and I said, they want to do this. He said, yeah, and don't get any sponsors until you find one that at least has been in the program 5 years, that you feel that you can really talk to, is dedicated, and then it's going to work for you. Anybody that has been less than 5 years, you're an adventurer, and you are not in the position to adventure anything. So I learned basically exact things. So I really come here, and after a few weeks and 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 a few weeks, the farther I was from electing who. But one day, I asked Bill. Bill impressed me for 2 or 3 reasons that in AA, they were important to me. Every time anyone speak, he turned himself and listened directly. Look it in the eye and listen to the person, which many of them don't do. I'm not going to say anything else more than that. And I thought, this man seems that he cares about people. And he looks serious. I don't know, his hair was down to here, but those are the days he got a motorcycle. No, but it impressed me. So I asked him, and he said, like Bill is, yes. Well, I start feeling better. Not really. One day, surprisingly enough, they keep telling me all kinds of things here, because I told them my wife left. I said, you know what? You need to learn to leave your wife to do whatever she wants. And I thought, you mean whatever she wants? Yeah, whatever she wants. You know, we just got married, and whatever she wants. I said, look, wait. She don't know this part, but I'm going to have to say it. You have no idea, but she's going to come back. Your life will be much better. Well, guess what? She did. That was the best day of my life. She come back. I said, she believed in me at least. Now I can't just go back to drink at all. But at this point, I was not motivated about drinking. I was motivated about my new life. And the first day that BJ asked me to join everyone for coffee, my life changed completely. I feel like I was part of this group. Because they keep saying, we're all together. We're all together. I said, yeah, we're all together. Here, they said the meeting before the meeting, the meeting and the meeting and the meeting after the meeting. I said, I only see the meeting at the meeting. Because everybody, And they talk about breakfasts and lunches and everything. I never been to any of it. But they say they all do. Well, I said, I don't know when that happened. So what happened, Bill started asking me that I need to read a big book. And trust me, it's big. Because he made me read that 5 pages a day, basically. This cannot be read fast. And of course, I was coming to the 90 days. He said, this is not about 3 meetings a day in 3 weeks or whatever. No, 90 in 90. And I was coming every day to a meeting. And I was really volunteering to clean everything. People told me to stop drinking Lysol because they don't like the smell. They did. I'm serious. And now they're probably happy. But you know what? When I finished the big book, he said, I was so happy. And he said, well, I said, now what? Now you need to read it again. He made me read it 3 times. But you know, that was the best thing that happened to me. Between the 12 steps, between the promises, which I thought they were all a lie, my life turned to be totally different. My mind became totally positive. My brain started giving clear thoughts. Everyone that I thought the first day laughing and going so wild and crazy of joy, that I never understood that I thought they were fake. I really thought there was comedians here to fake that. And I really thought that they was just to attract people. I was waiting for them to ask for all the money. I'm really serious. But it was truth. It became that it's total truth. I was impressed. But I was not impressed, lightly impressed. I was extremely impressed. Because I started feeling real happiness. The worries and concerns I had for years, they left me. When one time Bill told me, I have peace. It's not what he said, it's what I read in his eyes. He really was radiating peace through his eyes. When I see some things in all ages and all forms of different people here, it totally transformed my mind. I look back to the days, because they said learn to forgive and forgiveness. If you want to be somebody, you got to forgive yourself for everything you've done. Because the things that I've done, if I tell you in 59 and a half years, which I'm going to consider 10 years of innocence, because in Guatemala you are already into things by 10, I will say that in 49 years, times 365 days, this whole year is not enough for me to tell you everything. But it was amazing what this did to me. Now, this is what it did to me when I got in here, I got my sponsor. What it's been doing to me over the years. Yes, I had the business. Yes, that business is still going. It's amazing. But you know what? 3 years later, after I was here, I was capable to give bonuses to everyone in that office. And I look back about all the money that I was blowing away in alcohol and all kinds of things related to that. We had really a drunk suite at the rodeo for $125,000 that we spent. Then it turned to be back to the employees. Because we had zero business having that just for drinking. We spent during the year $50,000 on trips, taking customers, buying stupidities. Well, I save easy $300,000 every year. And more. My body. I'm alive. I think I'm alive because of AA physically, mentally, and spiritually. Now, I have 4 minutes left here. Well, if that clock is right. I don't know what clock is right here, but they said that. Okay. What AA did to me in that direction, physically speaking, I feel renewed. Mentally speaking, I feel a peace that I never had before. I can tell when I have no peace. Spiritually speaking, because they told me this. This program is spiritual. Well, thank God I always believed in God since I was a kid. Remember, optimism and very strict life. I was born in a Catholic country, and I'm not planning on changing that God. The only thing is that back then I never understood that God. And I understand another one. One day I did my homework is with about 50,000 gods that the human race come up with. Well, it's 50,001 my God today. Excuse me. So the peace of mind that I have, the way I believe in that God that I created for myself, is stronger than anything. And I'm not scared of anything. My dad used to say, don't be afraid of anything. He was right. But he wasn't an alcoholic. Well, I learned not to be afraid. And I'm going to close with one thing. Because this, for me, means the world today. 92,513 hours an hour ago, I can add another one. I've been sober. 3,854 days, 126 months, 10.55 years. December 31st, 2013 is my sobriety date. And you know what? I feel happy. That's the bottom line. But I feel also another thing. I am not lazy to the future. But who cares about the future? Today is great. Because that's what we learn here. God is here today. 24 hours a day. I don't know if the 24 hours started today for the next 24 or this morning for tomorrow morning. I don't really care. The only thing that I know is that I feel good. Really thank you very much. I hope that somebody learned something out of this, because we all here learn from everyone. I learn from every one of you that I know in this room. And the ones that I don't know, it's nice to meet you. And I'm not saying you need to come here because if you're not an alcoholic, you don't have to. But even if you want to know about this, this is a successful career. And I have 10 seconds to say, thank God.
You did a great job.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate you, Steve.
Thank you,
Great
Johnny,
job.
for being part of it.